Hello, good morning, good afternoon, or indeed good evening, depending on your time zone and depending on when you are watching this. It is Wednesday, the 9th of September 2020. Already halfway through most people's working week. I'm James Innes, and this is my YouTube show, The Jobs Guru. I'm delighted to see you here for today's episode. I extend a particularly warm welcome to all those who've subscribed since the last episode. And if you haven't yet subscribed, then please do think about subscribing so that you don't miss out on the next episode. In today's show, I'm going to be covering a question from one of my viewers, and next in the interview question series, I'll be asking, what are your current employer's plans for the year ahead? Good luck with that one, eh? If you have any questions or comments as you watch them, do please type them into that comment section below, and if you like what you see, please hit that YouTube thumbs up. So, onto that question from one of my viewers. Today's question is from Kathleen in York. Dear James, I work for a company based in the southeast and started working from home the week before lockdown. That weekend I took my computer equipment with me and drove back up north to stay with my parents, as I have a tense relationship with my flatmates and didn't want to be stuck with them. When I was subsequently furloughed, I was told I had to return my equipment to the office. I told them I didn't want to do it as it was non-essential travel, but they then insisted I pay for a courier to send it back down south. I think they should reimburse me for this expense. They don't. Who is in the right here? Well, okay. Kathleen in York. An interesting question. Legally, it's actually a little bit of a grey area. Morally and practically, though, I think it's pretty black and white. The computer equipment belongs to the company, yeah. And although you don't specifically say so, it seems you had their full consent to take it home with a view to working from home on a long-term basis. Being subsequently furloughed, though, you were, of course, unable legally to work, and so that computer equipment became unused, and regardless, the company had every right to want it back. The catch is that the legislation surrounding furlough is so flimsy that either of you could argue that the other is at fault here, and that the other should bear the cost of transport. And you both have pretty equally strong cases. But really, how much money are we talking about here? I'm presuming it's not a great deal. It's not like you took an IBM supercomputer home, is it? Therefore, I'm very much of the opinion that you are in the right. The company should stop being so ridiculously petty and cough up. And are you sure you want to work for people like this? You know, I think I'd start looking elsewhere. So I'm always open to new and interesting questions from my viewers. If you've got a workplace, jobs, careers, or employment-related question for me, then do please type it into that comment section below, and I may well feature it in a future episode of this show. And if I do, then one of my limited edition collector's item Jobs Guru coffee mugs will be yours. I know you want one. You know you want one. And now, Kathleen, well, she has one. As well as heading up the James Innes group, I am also the UK's best-selling careers author. Amongst my titles is the one over here on my desk, the Interview, Question and Answer book. It's a bit of a tatty copy of that. It is, of course, available in all good bookshops. Or if you'd like a signed copy from yours truly, there's a link in the description of this video. Anyway, each Wednesday at the moment, I'm taking questions from that book and I'm looking at how to answer them. At the moment, questions from the chapter entitled The Top 25 Tough Questions Taking the Heat. Today's question, what are your current employer's plans for the year ahead? Now, similar questions can include, is your current employer planning to launch any new products or services this year? Is your current employer planning to expand this year? But back to the question in hand. What are your current employer's plans for the year ahead? There are two possible scenarios here. The interviewer could simply be attempting to assess how professional you are in terms of loyalty, discretion, honesty, etc. Alternatively, they could be deliberately pumping you for commercially sensitive information. Sadly, it is the case that some interviews are purely a pretext for extracting information from a competitor's employees. It may be hard to tell which of the two scenarios you're in, but it doesn't really matter because the answer you need to give is the same. So how to answer? It's very simple. You should in no way be divulging your current employer's confidential plans. If there are any plans for new products, services, etc., which are already cleared in the public domain, yeah, then you can of course talk about that. But resist all temptation to let the interviewer extract any other information from you. Whilst they might lead you to think it will be to your advantage to spill the beans, at the end of the day, nobody wants to employ someone who could later pose a security risk. As usual, I have plucked a little example from my book for you. I regret that any of my current employer's plans are of course confidential and commercially sensitive. I'm naturally honour bound not to divulge details. I'm sorry. I would of course be more than happy to talk about how the business has developed over the past 12 months and the role I played in that. Neatly dodging it there. Now, I'm updating this book at the moment, the quick interview question and answer, but working on a brand new edition, the 3rd edition of that book. So if you've got any interview questions which you think I should be considering for possible inclusion, obviously type them into that comment section below for my review. If I use your question, then obviously there's going to be a complimentary signed copy of the new edition for you, and I may even throw in a free interview coaching session with me, if you like, the man who literally wrote the book on interviews. Or of course, you can just pop along and book a session at jamesinnes.group. So now, we're not far from the end of today's show. I'll be back tomorrow, Thursday, for the final show of the week. Remember, this show is Tuesday, Wednesday and Thursday each, and pretty much every week. Still not sure what to do about Christmas though, but I'll worry about that when I come to it. Just 2 more things. First, I'm going to squeeze in some routine but important requests. Do please check me out on social media and connect, follow, or otherwise stalk me, but please don't troll me. You may be hungry, but I'm not going to feed you. If you've got any questions or comments about this episode, about the show in general, about life, the universe, cremation, whatever, then do please let me have them below. If you like this episode, please hit it with the YouTube thumbs up. If you've kind of given me a thumbs up, then perhaps think about subscribing to my channel and ringing that bell. Ding-a-ling-a-ling, so you don't miss out on the clonk next episode. And if you've already done all of that, then thank you. Now, finally, what is happening in the next episode? In Thursday's show, I would normally be looking at the week's workplace news. However, tomorrow is special. Tomorrow, the 10th of September, is World Suicide Prevention Day, and I want to talk about that instead. I do hope you'll tune in. Thank you for watching today. Keep safe and be well, my friends. Goodbye.